Hey y'all, it's your girls, Candy and Alex, coming in with our readings with Candy here today. We are super excited coming in. We are getting back on track with our schedule and doing our weekly show. Candy is back from her adventures up north. Um, Candy, how are you feeling today with all of the veils being super thin?
I'm great. The energy is so high. It's so amazing. I'm loving it. I've got a lot going on, just coming back into town, catching up on my chores and doing that kind of stuff. And I'm getting ready for a craft show that I did sign up for that's tomorrow. And so I'm trying to get that all that way. So I just have a lot of little things going on. But it's all wonderful. It's all good. And I'm excited and just trying to manifest for the best, amazing future for everybody.
Right? No, I totally feel you. So backtracking for a hot second, you said you have a show coming up tomorrow. Um, this is pulling up on the screen, kind of some of your stuff that people can expect. So remind everybody where you're at again, what part of the world?
I live in Mesa, Arizona, which is just outside of Phoenix. And sorry, you're quick with those pictures. I don't even know how to get those on there. So anyway, when I lost my job, I started, there's a crystal shop next to me. And so I bought all these rocks and crystals and beads and stuff. And so I just started making jewelry just for like decompression and therapy, just kind of trying to reorient myself into this new reality. So what you're showing there are just some different stones that resonate with me for whatever reason, and I'm kind of learning how to wrap them. And it's funny because the less I try to think about it, the better they turn out. But there's just various different ones, and so all of those come with the chain. Now those right there aren't on chains. But I've got different chains you could put them on, but they're just very fun. So I try to identify them, like, so people will know, like if it's a rose quartz or amethyst or whatever. And then those are some mostly earrings that I have. These little things at the top are little wine glass charms that you put on your little wine glass so you know which one's yours. Yeah, so those displays that stuff's on, my husband actually made for me, so that was very cool. So tomorrow when I go to the show, I'll have the displays up and my jewelry out. So yeah, so I don't have this on my site. So if anybody sees something or wants to ask if I have anything or look at anything, they can just email me at thecandy@angelwhispers, and I need to figure out a way to get it done. So after this show this weekend, I probably will try to put whatever I have left on my site somehow. Like, I know I can do it. It's just the process of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work maintaining websites. So, and y'all, wherever you're watching from, her email and her website is in the description. So if you are looking for that, let me pull it up really quick for the, there it is. So there's her email, y'all. Go ahead and shoot her an email. Same thing. So tell us what you have going on again with like your readings and what you're doing with that.
Okay, so like I said, I don't have the jewelry on site yet, but at Angel Whispers, you can email me at that is the easiest way to get a hold of me, actually. So if you want to do a reading or want information about doing a reading or a clearing or healing, or if you just have questions or you just want to talk to somebody, email me and then we can arrange a time and place. Right now, I'm not really even charging for readings. So I think on my site, I have them down for $10 and $20, for 10 for half hour and 20 for an hour. But I'm being really called to just help and support people as best I can. So if you feel like you need somebody to talk to, or you want a reading done, or you just want more information, just email me at that email, and then we will come up with a plan. So, I mean, don't worry about the cost. Luckily right now I don't have to worry about it too much. I'm hoping we're going to flip to 5D real quick.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Like, it's so funny too. I mean, just like you probably get this too, like when you're working with people, it's like you enter into that 5D realm, especially doing like clearings and stuff and like just helping people. It's like literally entering their physical energy body in like a very just, I don't know how to describe it.
It's euphoric, actually, for me.
Yeah,
It's
it
like it's euphoric.
is.
It is very high energy, and it's so helpful. And honestly, it just kind of comes so easy for me. And it just, stuff I feel like I'm saying, sometimes I'm going to go, does that make any sense sometimes when I'm channeling? But it always resonates with the person. And so I just feel like people just need that kind of help. And I don't want to charge for it right now if I don't have to. So I was on a webinar yesterday with my friends who I went to California to help. And I offered to do reading. So I'm booked Sunday. So Sunday, I've got reading after reading after reading booked for Sunday, just trying to, help people and stuff. So anyway, so just kind of trying to get out there and do that stuff now and doing these readings with you. So if that resonates with somebody and you're thinking you would want more information on it, just email me and we can work it out. So I love doing it. I kind of look at it as paying it forward.
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually have someone I'm going to probably send to you, excuse me, and for a reading, because I know you are really spot on. So
speaking of that, I did pull some cards. I had a chance to pull some cards. So if you want me to start with that, or if you want to start with questions,
by all means, go ahead. What
so I got new cards when I was out of town, and so this was these little angel whispers. And isn't that cute? Since I love it. It's called Angel Whispers. So it's just little words of encouragement from your angels. So I pulled a card today just for the general audience today, or whoever's going to be listening when they're listening. And so what it says is,
I can't. It's not. It's so low.
I was going to say, let it focus in. No. It says like attracts like. So think only positive thoughts.
Yes.
So I just thought that was so perfect. I mean, we have to realize, if we're thinking, oh, I don't have any money, oh, I don't have a parent, you're just attracting more of that. You think, I've got more than enough, I can share. I live in abundance, and that's the energy you have to remember to keep. And it's hard because that's not how we were brought up or taught, or
yeah, you got to be.
The brainwashing has messed us up. So keep positive. Keep your thoughts positive. Even if it doesn't make any sense, just say, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, and I'm ready for it.
Or, especially like this just came to me too when it comes to money. If you are maybe like going to buy something, or you need to, like, it's a genuine need, but you quite literally at the moment don't have the money for it, instead of saying to yourself like, well, I can't afford that. Oh, that even feels icky. Afford this right now. Instead of saying that, being able to say, I will soon be able to afford this, or I will be able to afford this, in a short, like, I will. Changing that part of it is where I'm going with this, is to really change your dialogue and try to catch yourself on that, because that's exactly kind of what you're talking about, is like when we tune into like our subconscious thoughts, that is like such an intense, I mean, that's the ruler of so many things. And it's how we inadvertently like manifest the wrong things, is it's like our subconscious will be playing and we're like, I really want that diamond ring. Didn't you mean, you got this negative subconscious on replay, just like all the things going against it. It's just like, really trying to be conscientious of these subconscious thoughts, to be able to really tune into this stuff, so we don't fall into that negative feedback.
Right. And just flip it around and, say things like, I live in great abundance. I have everything that I need. The universe provides for me. Just think of it that way. And if you can't get it right this minute, just know that it's coming. And I've always lived that way. Maybe not consciously, I didn't realize it. But I know even the first time I went to buy a house, I remember thinking, holy crap, I'm buying a house, and my friends are like, dang, you just make it happen. And I'm like, well, yeah, what do other people do? What I mean? It's just like, well, what do you do? Like, what do you mean? But it's almost magical. People see it as almost magical the way I do it sometimes. And I just don't question that it's not going to happen. I just like, oh, this is going to happen. Now, sometimes I freak out, like the first time I bought my second house, I moved literally next door, and that house, it was for sale for $225,000. I remember thinking, this house is $250,000, and back then I was like, holy freaking! I mean, that just seemed ridiculous to me, And I remember thinking, is the bank going to really give us this house? Right. But that's the whole trap, and so just be conscious of it, and just know that the universe is going to provide. And I say things like, I don't know how, but it'll be even better than I can imagine,
Perfect
the
example.
positive thoughts.
Yeah. So, and that's such a perfect example. I'm like sitting in that same position right now, literally. So my build out for the research and everything, my guides, I know I shared this with you where it was like my guides are telling me, get on your, this for the research and start, developing the consciousness theory, like formally, not just like how I have it. And then the build out and stuff. And it's like, I'm looking at least 30 grand. And my guides are like, it's coming. It's already yours. Like it's literally coming. And I've, even in my meditations where I am manifesting, and it's like, I don't know how it's coming, but it's coming. I was like, one way or another, I was like, it's coming, and it's coming very soon. No freaking clue.
Well, that is very cool, because I did do a card reading, and I did it basically for you. So I'm gonna go through that, because saying what you just said really resonates. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I'll try and do it quickly, but I know sometimes people just have questions. But before I move on to that, go ahead.
Side note too, if y'all are in the chat too, and y'all do have questions, so like we are going to be getting into that live readings and stuff here. So if you have questions, fill up the chat. I'm monitoring the chat right now while Candy does her thing. So, let us know in the chat if you guys have questions you want Candy to read on. And with that, my dear, let's proceed.
And before I get to your personal reading, I did a reading for the whole, and it's with this Sacred Forest deck. And so the first card, so I've got, so I pull with the intention of, what do we need to know? Like, where are we now? I'm sorry, our past, our present, and then our future, just as a general collective. And so the first card that came up dealing with our past is the Bear Spirit, and dealing with healing. And I know you and I've talked about that a lot, just the healing we're going through, not only individually, but as humanity, as the earth, just the healing we're going through, taking time to heal and acknowledge that it's vital. Don't sell yourself short and think that, oh, I don't have time for that. It is so important to heal, and to give yourself rest and to honor yourself. So then the present where we're at right now as a collective came up, the Phoenix, with transmutation, which just gives me goosebumps, because I think we are going through a huge metamorphosis, a huge transition to 5D, and everybody's doing it in various different ways. Some people are faster, some people are slower, some people don't even know what's happening, but it's happening regardless. And then the last card that came up, which is what our future is the Wild Rose Fairy for love.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that gorgeous? And so for me, what I got from that is not only learning to love ourselves, but learning to love each other, loving the earth, loving animals. Just the love frequency is what's coming, and we're creating it. And again, not forgetting to love ourselves, because that's what we just tend to neglect. So I just thought that was very powerful, beautiful card. So I just wanted to share that. That's kind of for the collective. We've been through healing, we're going through transmutation, and we're headed towards pure love and bliss. And I just thought that was beautiful, the way that turned out.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
go
ahead.
I was going to say, and if y'all are just hopping on and stuff too, we are doing live readings here in a moment with Candy. So y'all let us know your questions in the chat, and we'll absolutely get to them. So let us know wherever you're watching from.
Okay, so real quick, I'll go through so I did do a drawing for you, a Katina spread drawing, and my question basically was, what should you be focusing your energy on, or what do your guides want you to know? And so the first card I pull up is describing you and kind of where you're at right now. And this is from this Light Seers Oracle deck that I got. I love this one. It's very positive. Anyway, but the first one, which is describing you, is the Four of Wands. And Wands is dealing with spiritual energy, and fours are very stable. So right now you're working on getting stable. Like you said, you're kind of figuring out your foundation. What's that going to look like? What does that mean? But it's also a celebration. Celebrate what's going on. Celebrate the progress you have made. Celebrate the stability you've built. And and that's kind of where you're at right now. So then the situation or what's happening that you need to focus on is the most beautiful card in the whole deck, I think, is the Sun. And that's a major arcana. And so the Sun is saying that you're bringing joy and inspiration, you're building success and abundance. And I get not only just for you, but for your people around you, your family, you know, the people who follow your shows, just your energy does it for people anyway. So that the Sun is one of the most positive cards in the tarot deck, and it is a major arcana, and it is the situation you're in, is that happy, amazing, beautiful space of the Sun. And I just thought that totally was you. And so in the past, where you're coming from is another major arcana called the Chariot. And so the Chariot is kind of, I correlate with herding cats, just a million things going on. You're running around, you're trying to do everything, everything's going, and you're just trying to get stuff done. And that's kind of been your past. But it also means you're running towards your destiny. You are going for it. You know, whatever it is, you're going for it. You're like me. You're like, I don't know what we're doing, but we're going. And so that's kind of your past. And it's, you know, still going on, but that's what started you.
I think that's like the epitome of me. I don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it by damn.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then currently where you are right now, you had a lot of wands, and wands is that spiritual energy. And so for currently right now, you have the Six of Wands, which again, it's just another beautiful, it's a celebration card. And it's, in the book, it actually says, your badass self. It's bringing on success. You're inspiring others. You're an influencer. You know what I mean? And that is, I think, for both of us, part of our calling is to kind of step out of our comfort zone and go like, hey, you know, let's just do this. It'll work out. And then our energy inspires others. Yeah. So right now that's where you're at, is you are celebrating and you've got success and you're inspiring others.
That's
so then does that resonate?
Girl, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So the future, and what's funny is I think I get this card for you almost every time, maybe not in the same spot, but the future is the Seven of Wands. And again, that's creating spiritual energy. And Seven of Wands is talking about uniqueness, you know, doing it your way. You're not following a cookie cutter example. You're doing it based on your intuition, your beliefs, your joy, your bliss. And so you are creating spiritual energy based off of your unique gifts and talents and knowingness. And it's creative, and it's making spiritual energy. You're creating, you're manifesting it as you go. So I thought that was beautiful. So that's the future, and you're doing it. Okay, now the rest of the cards are just going to kind of clarify that. And so sometimes it could go dark or light, but so the first one that came up to clarify that was the Eight of Wands. And again, wands are spiritual energy, and Eight of Wands means swift and fast. So it's going to come swift and fast. So when it hits, it's going to hit, and we're going to just have to hit the ground running. And so we're all anticipating that, and I got my theories behind that, but so that just means it's coming. And then the King of Swords, and I think this is like a sexy guy, the King of Swords. So swords is thoughts and words, and the king just means you're the master of it. But what that's indicating to me for you is that you combined your thinking brain, your knowledge, with your spiritual intuition and your conscious. So you're blending mental and spiritual energies to make intelligent, logical decisions. You know what I mean? You're not totally woo woo, and you're not totally just fact based. You're blending both of those, and that's a very high skill. So then I think you're right on the right track. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Another clarifier was the Two of Cups, and Two of Cups is usually, it's talking about emotions, it's love. This could be your soulmate card, and I know we've got this before, we've talked about it. It could be partnerships with people, it could be a relationship, it could just be making partnerships outside of what you currently have. But it also is reminding us to love ourselves, to open up. If we open up, that's what's going to help people come to us, but it's for partnerships. which is exactly what we're doing now.
Mhm.
Then another clarifier I got was the Ace of Pentacles, which is beautiful. So pentacles represent material things, money, and actually manifesting things. So it's the beginning. It's indicating new income. It's the beginning of something you're manifesting. So that's what we're doing. We're creating a whole new reality, a whole new spiritual practice, basically. And so then I draw one last card to kind of culminate it all together. And you got the Nine of Pentacles, which is in the old version. Basically, it's an independent woman who has abundance. You bring abundance to yourself. You bring abundance financially. You bring abundance with materials, and then love, and just it's being it's providing wealth and independence, basically. And I think that's totally you. So I mean, that's where you're headed, is you are creating that, and it's going to build and build and build. And I personally think that's been this whole process with Q and everything. Even if it's not right, it's got people thinking, and it's got people going, hey, well, I do want Nasara. Wait a minute, what's this Nasara stuff? And then we think about it. Even if it was never ever really going to happen, it's probably going to happen now because too many people know about it, and we're going to manifest it, make it freaking happen. You know what I mean? And so even if you're listening to somebody and people are like, oh, they're wrong, they're lying, I don't think it matters. I think what matters is what we create, what we do. You know what I mean? I think we can make anything happen. And the problem is that they've been controlling us, making us do their bidding. and we've fallen for it. and we need to stop and be like, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to do it my way. So anyway, that's what I got for your card. So that I just think is all very synchronous in line with what we got before, but very telling, because depending on how the cards go, it can go dark. I mean, it could be like, dude, you need to settle down because you're going to have a hard winter. It doesn't say that at all. It says something's coming fast. We need to get ready for it. So I just was very excited about that. So yay.
Me too. I feel it super hard in my energy. And I think though there's I've talked about this in the past where it was Archangel Michael was showing us in July so much of humanity was going to be shifting, and so much of humanity is going to be growing and entering those next stages and really boldly coming into that space. So I love so much, and it so resonated when you were talking about just uniquely doing your own, where it's I really feel I kind of got a download that it was but all of us are also doing that. It wasn't just me. And so I think that was so beautiful. I love it. So if y'all are in the chat, let us know if you have questions that you want answered. If you want to pull a card, anything like that, we absolutely can. Candy will do it live with you. We do have one person. I'll put her up here on the screen for you, Candy.
Okay, Karen Scott. Okay, I will find out what the universe wants to tell you. It wants me to use. Actually, I'm getting to pull two different ones. So these are the cards I just have in front of me, but okay, Karen, I'm not sure where you're at on your journey or in your life, but the card they wanted you to have is the meandering pathway or flow. And what I get from that is go with the flow, just follow your heart's desire. Don't try to, you can kind of see there's kind of like a path there, and it's kind of just going around and around. Just be okay with whatever life is bringing you, and go with it. And just in your mind, know kind of where you want to go, but be okay with the path you take. Kind of the journey is half the fun, but be okay with it flowing at whatever pace it's going to flow at. I get that all the time from my guides is to quit trying to make it happen because it's not helping. Just know what I want, and it's coming, and quit trying to, I'm a list person, and I try to get everything, let's get this done today. And that's not how the universe works. So just know that, your world is manifesting for your highest good, and just, trust that and say affirmations like that, and enjoy the ride. Basically, enjoy the ride that we're going on. So hopefully that manifests. And if you have a question or follow up for that, just let me know. They want me to pull that one, and then they want me to pull one from this. Whoops, hold on, my phone just fell. Okay, from this gratitude deck, and I did pull one of these for the collective for everybody. And this is this gratitude. I got this when I was out of town, and just beautiful illustrations. But they want me to pull one of these for you. So let's see what suggestion they have for gratitude. Oh, okay. Reveal. So looking at the pictures, you can see it's very bright and colorful and pretty, I guess is the, it's very fanciful. There's, wild ducks and geese and flowers, and it's kind of hard to see it, but there's like people on a mayberry pole or whatever you call those. So again, for reveal, I think that in linking up with this other one, the path you're on is going to reveal things to you that maybe you're not aware of, or maybe you are aware of, but you're on a path of enlightenment, of learning, of exploring, of kind of growing as you go kind of thing. And so what I'm getting intuitively is just to remind you just to see the beauty in it and take what resonates with you, and don't try to force things. Don't try to be a master of anything. I don't know if that makes sense to you if you're doing anything like that, but just as long as you love it, enjoy it, go with it. Your path or your destiny or your higher good is going to reveal itself as time goes on, and just to trust it. And I'm also getting to let you know that it could change. It can change over time. It might start off one way, and that's going to take you down this certain path, and then you might go, okay, wait a minute, and change, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That's how we grow, is a little by little, and to just follow your heart's desire. So hopefully that resonated and made sense.
You said it makes sense. I love it.
Oh, good. Yay. And then just real quick for the collective, I did pull a card for everybody, just the collective, and it came up this between card, which when I read about it in the book, it kind of meant a little something different. But when I first read it, what I meant was we're kind of between worlds. We're between where we are, where we've been, to what we're creating. We're getting ready to go through this portal, and some of us are farther along the portal. Some of us are walking away from the portal. But the between phase. But what I also said in the book was, so the affirmation for that is, I experienced my mind's silence and gratefully experienced the between times. So what the book was talking about was that quiet time, that time like right before you fall asleep, that you're just purely not thinking. You're being very intuitive. And that's something I think that we all need to learn to trust more. And that's basically when I do my readings, that's all I'm doing, is I'm just doing what they tell me to do. They say, take this card and this card. I'm so eclectic. Like, I don't really follow any rule.
Well, I think what you're hitting on is so perfect. Real quick, if y'all are wanting any questions answered, do drop it in the chat. We'll absolutely help you out. But where you're going with that, like, go into that flow state, and flow state could literally be sweeping the floor. It could be driving. It could be a formal meditation, guided or not. It's where you are able to really kind of like enter kind of like a mechanical state. So
mine's
like
doing dishes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I love doing dishes. It's my zone state.
Yeah. No, and that's perfect. Like, that's the flow I'm talking about. I mean, you think about it, you're not really having to put a lot of conscious thought into washing the dishes. It's very kind of, you know, mechanical. It's very benign as far as like engagement, you know, you're just kind of going through it. And as you're going through it, you're in that conscious state, but it's like you're releasing, like you're releasing your thoughts, and you're kind of, I always like when I started channeling and stuff, I literally, it's like it envisions like I'm walking up out of like this dark space, and it's like my brain just like cranial just quite literally opens up and just is accepting and just like opens up to that like void almost, you know, to be able to be receptive of what I'm, you know, the higher everything is trying to show me. And it's like I always feel like I'm walking out of the dark and into the light, and it's just like, and then being able to just sit there and just listen. And you know, that was I remember I got super angry with Archangel Michael when he like actively was starting to show up, because he was like, I've been trying to talk to you, and I'm like, I'm here, I'm listening. He's like, you're not though, you're really not, because
you're trying to control it. Yeah.
and
That
it's
is
patter.
Yeah. And what's sad is that we all can do it. We just tend to ignore it or not listen to it or say, well, that doesn't make any, you know. And so what we need to get, we need to, and I say humor yourself. Okay, let's go with that. What, you know, let's go with that. What's the worst it can do, you know? And so again, I just think the universe is challenging us to trust ourselves, to dream big, to dream totally outside of what we've been conditioned to think, and to, you know, work together. That's one thing I think is just talking with other people, you know, because I'm an ex-teacher, so I call those things scaffolding, you know what I mean? So the way, you know, if you do a guided meditation, some people need that. Some people need to visualize themselves going over the rainbow bridge. I mean, and those things can help if you're having a hard time getting there, but eventually you're going to find your own way, and you're going to be able to get there quick. Because I remember practicing getting in that Zen state, and I would be like so excited. I'd do it for like half a second, you know, and now I can get there, and I can be there for hours. And it is crazy how much download you get, how much information you get. And I just wish to frick I could process it, because when I'm in that state, I process it fine. But then when I come out, I'm like, oh crap, what was all that? And I'm like, it all made sense in that zone, but now I'm back in 3-4D, and I'm going, okay, what the heck? You know, and it's just so weird. And when you do it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's also magical and powerful. And we just need to let the other time I do it is, not that I've done it lately, is my exercise bike. I'll just put on, you know, the background Hertz music, and I'll just let myself just exercise bike and just let my mind go. And, you know, it's random. The stuff you think of is random, and you kind of go, okay, accept it, move on, but don't try to make it happen. And that's what's hard. I think we try to make it happen, and then our guides come back and go, okay, you think you're in charge, but you're not.
No. You know, and that's I think so perfect of like exactly how, you know, humanity can absolutely get through this right now. Like there's so many things like going on, and you know, that is one of the most important things I know Michael was really harping on starting in July of this year, where it was just like all of this shift and letting go and trusting and being willing to go through the process, whether it's like lessons we need to learn, and it may not feel so great in the immediate, but you get through that so you don't come back here. And it's just like all of these things. So I think what you said is so beautiful, and really accessing that flow state, because like that's how we're going to get through this, is accessing that flow state. Side note, if you are channeling too, you know, for anybody out there, you can do like an audio recording. If you speak it, you can do like like record yourself on your phone. If you want to like do a video of it, or you can even start writing it down. I write really slow because I have like crazy bad nerve damage in my arm, and so like I suck at writing. So I started like video recording myself, because yeah, it's like in the moment you're like, I'm so gonna remember this, and this is great, and da 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 da, and then as soon as you hop out, it's gone. You're
well,
like,
and I've tried that saying it, but it's like too much. I can't even talk that fast, and I talk fast.
yeah.
But it's like you're in another reality. It's not this slow. You know, I'm at like computer processing speed. Boom, 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 it all makes sense. You know, and then an hour later, I'm like, holy crap. You know, one time I got this huge download, and I'm like, oh my God. So I came down, and on my computer, instead of typing it, I can dictate it and say it. So I just started saying the story, what happened, blah, 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 blah. Well, then I had to go back and edit. Oh my God, that was such a pain in the butt because there's no periods, there's no capitals. So I wasn't very efficient at it. But again, there was just so much information, and it was so very cool. And it's so weird because it's like my own awakening, because then I open it, move on, and then I move on to the next thing. And then I totally forget that even happened, because now it's just already in my database. You know what I mean? And it's weird. In fact, today I did something like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. So, yeah, it's amazing, and it's fun. And I know one thing I was talking about with Kathy was maybe doing some kind of a light workers roundtable, or call it something, just letting people come on and talk and be like, what happens when you do this? Or, oh my God, I had this dream, just to process with people. Because if you're like me, there's not really anybody close you can talk to about it. My husband looks at me like I'm freaking crazy. You can't talk to people like, oh, I had this download, and then look at you like, okay, crazy, and so you need a safe space to do that. And I know when I first started this, I kind of started it and it just wasn't consistent. So maybe that's something we could talk about. Finding a time to do it is the hard part. But just so that, if we did it regularly, then people could learn to come on and just check in, or come on and ask questions, because there's so many different levels where people are at, and I'm certainly not an expert. I'm learning as I go. But I think I understand things at a base level to at least get people started. And because of my education background, I'm kind of able to put it together and kind of get them on a starting plateau and some of that scaffolding in place kind of stuff. And so I think that that's really just important to work with people who are like-minded.
Yeah. And it's so, I think what you're hitting the nail on the head, and like how important that is, because it's like, I have people who reach out and they're, feeling like, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm not crazy, I'm not. And it's just like, yeah, you're not crazy. Like, this stuff is very real. And it's amazing, especially go ahead.
I did that clearing with that friend of mine I went to California with, and she had a it's not a clearing, but she did a what's it called? She did activation yesterday, and it was funny watching people in the chat, because people were freaking out, like, oh my God, I fell asleep, or I had this pain, or hurt, and just different things. And the people are worried about, thinking, they're doing something wrong. And we need a place for people to get together and be like, okay, well, what happens when you do this? Like, I channel and speak in light language, and I can't tell you word for word what I'm saying or what I'm doing, but I have an idea and a feeling, and it almost always resonates with who I'm doing it with. Like, oh my God, that's totally what I felt. So just talking with other people and saying, okay, this is how I do it, or what I see, just kind of helps people grow themselves. Otherwise, it's just so hard. There's just too much. There's so much information out there, and not all of it's positive, not all of it's good. So you do want to get with people who you resonate with. And I see Karen's talking about kind of that little intuition stuff. That happens to me all the time. It is freaky, or I'm like, okay, it's like I'm like, I know it's gonna happen, but I can't remember what happened, and then it happens. Oh, that's it's so weird. We are magical beings, and we need to remember that and honor that, and think big. I saw a meme the other day, and it said something about, okay, I'm kind of pissed that my powers of turning people to fire with my eyes and flying haven't happened yet. And I just laugh, because I'm like, yeah, I totally think I'm going to be able to transport soon. I'm going to be able to just be like, oh, I'm going to go see Alex today. Okay, here I am. Because it's all just stuff we just don't understand, and that's on purpose. They don't want us to understand it. But I think it's very it's probably so simple that we're going to go, oh my gosh, why did I make that so hard? Until we remember it, it just seems impossible. But I don't think it is impossible. I think so many things that we fantasize about are real, and we just need to allow them to be real, and allow ourselves to believe it. And that's what's changing the world, I think.
And if y'all have any questions, let us know in the chat before we wrap up. And what's so funny though is, literally, I've had where it's like, I remember those were like, because how you're talking about like the downloads are like that computer processor like speed, like it's just like go 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 go, right? And it's funny because like I've had events, and of course I'm like, of course, like the deja vu or something, and I'm like, I'll ask my team, well, where did I see that? And they're like, well, we told you that whenever at some point in time. And so it's so interesting too, where it's like some of these downloads that I'll get too, where I'm just like, oh. And then like they show me like what it was my download was about, and I was like, that's right, I remember now. And it's funny, how all of that works. So if we don't have any more questions for tonight, or tonight, oh my gosh. I don't know about y'all, but like I was up late. I did this beautiful cleansing, like, and like manifestation party last night for, myself. And I definitely feel a lot cleaner. I can definitely tell, like, I'm like tired today, but like, I feel like that refreshed kind of like, okay, energies are clearer, energies are cleaner. So I don't know about everybody else in the chat. You can let us know, but yeah. So if you would you draw, I guess, one piece of guidance for humanity for this next week as we go through our week, as we get ready to close today?
Okay, so I was led to pull from this Sacred Forest one, and so the one that came up was the Spirit Guardian of Autumn, which is right where we are, and it's letting go. And I just think that's so perfect for where we are, letting go of some of those false beliefs, letting go of our fears, letting go of our inhibitions, letting go of feeling guilty, letting go of not honoring, letting go of so many things that just aren't benefiting us, letting the past go, letting the negative energies go. So letting go and honoring that, be fine with it. And that's something I know I constantly am working on. And so I just think it's a really good reminder again, to be okay with letting go of things and just go with the flow of it. And there's friends since this spiritual awakening's happened to me that I don't talk to anymore. And it used to upset me. Now I'm like, it's just more work to be with them than to not, honestly. Because they're judgmental and they're critical, and so I've just learned that I don't want to be around their energy. So I'd much rather be with you doing this and being with people who have positive, high energy and similar beliefs, or at least want to understand, than fighting and arguing with people who just think I went crazy and joined a cult. So it's okay to let those people go. It's okay. Yeah. I'm very fortunate. My family is very understanding, very loving. My husband doesn't believe it, but he thinks it's cute that I do. He thinks it's cute I sit under this pyramid. He thinks I made all that jewelry, and he's like, do people wear rocks? Yeah. And I go, right. Well, honey, they do. And since then, he's noticed it everywhere. So it's funny. So again, that way subconscious. Yeah. But there's family members and people that I just have let go. I let my job go, my career go. I was educated for 30 years. And when they said you have to get vaccinated, I was like, nope, not gonna. And I got fired for it. So, and I'm okay with it. That's what's so weird. That's how come I know is amazing things happening, because that's not me. Normally I'd be thinking, oh crap, how am I gonna, how am I going to pay the bills? What's going to happen? And I'm not. I'm so at peace. I'm like, okay, well, something better is coming. This is happening for a reason. And once you allow yourself to be in that flow state, everything is beautiful. Everything's positive. And there are times when I kind of go, and then I just breathe and I talk with people and I let it go. I let all that negative energy go, because if you hold on to it and you're just going to manifest more of it.
Yeah. And so one of the things I wanted to point out too, if y'all are in kind of a similar situation as Candy, what she just said, how she's like, she's at peace about it. all of these different changes. And that's how you'll absolutely know that even if it looks like the world is burning around you, to be able to, if you genuinely have like that peace and knowing that like this is how I'm being divinely guided, and it's not just some reckless idea that you were drunk and thought this was a fantastic idea or something, nothing crazy like that, but I mean genuinely being guided, even what humanity is saying is crazy or not in line with what the human stuff that they're trying to put on the human constraints onto us, to go with it, even though if it is seemingly crazy. If you're being divinely guided, have that peace and knowing in your heart that this is what your next step is.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Yep.
Well, thank you, dear, for blessing us with your beautiful talents.
You're welcome. And again, if anybody watches this later and you have a question or you just want some feedback or a channeling, I do channelings, I do healings, I do we can talk and then figure out where we need to go. Even if you don't know what you want or need, just we can talk and I'll be led. Your guides would tell me what I need to do. So don't worry about it if you're going, I have no idea. We'll figure it out. And so just email me at Candy@angelwhispers.live and we will set something up. And again, I love doing it. And this is kind of how I feel like I am helping humanity, get past this icky time is to help support and inspire others to just, if nothing else, think outside the box and trust yourself and support each other. So.
Absolutely. And y'all, we will continue to meet on Fridays. Today was 12:30 because I had a session go late. So that was my
Are we
bad.
going to just move it to 12:30? Is that, do you want to do that?
Yeah, if you think that's better, we can do that for sure. I just had a session go late today. So I apologize, y'all. But yeah, I guess we'll do that. It'll work out 12:30 Central Standard Time. Every Friday, we'll be doing live channelings and tarot readings by the beautiful Candy. If y'all have any questions and stuff, feel free to let us know in the chat during our lives. And I pray that this blesses all of y'all. And we will be back with y'all next week.
Bye. Thank you.